Oh, we have a
Sorry,
pug.
We've got a pug who's seen something out the window. Will you be quiet, please? Thank you. We're smelling things. Pugsley, sit. Pugsley.
Pugsley.
Away.
One moment, caller.
It's Fume Chat, yeah, Fume Chat with Thomas and Nick. We talk perfume and fragrance with humor and wit. From Chanel number 5 to Angel and more. We're covering the famous scents that you're looking for. It's time for some fragrances, it's time to start the show. It's Fume Chat, yeah, Fume Chat, here we go.
Hello and welcome to Fume Chat. I am Thomas Dunkley.
And I am Nick Gilbert.
And we are the Fume Chat people who do this podcast.
Yes, we are. Hi.
You think you could call us hosts, but that sounds very formal for what we do.
For what we do. We're just a racket. It's just a racket.
It's just a racket. This is just noise. Welcome to Noise with Thomas Dunkley and Nick Gilbert.
Ha!
It's been a while.
Sure has, because the world ended.
Yes. I mean, we had grand plans. We were like, hello, here is season 3. And then because we did that, we summoned a great demon, the demon Cthulhu, and he has destroyed the world.
He has. He's ended it all.
Yeah.
And it's our fault, because we thought season 3, we
had the audacity.
to
the
think.
impudence, the unmitigated gall to say, let's do a 3rd season, and we did 1 episode, and then the world basically
It collapsed.
got ill.
It collapsed. Everything has been stressful.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So this is season 3.1, but really season 3 because Apple won't let you do a 3.1. So
Okay, so it's season 3 continuation.
yeah, this is the season 3 in the after times.
Since COVID.
Since COVID, which was the before times. So yeah, what's been going on? Anything of note?
Anything of note? Well, there is a global pandemic.
There is currently. Yes.
The world has significantly changed.
Yes.
But here we are talking about frivolous things like fragrance.
Yes, and we are distanced by 2 meters currently, just to clarify.
Just to clarify, yes, there's a big desk between us.
Yes.
And plenty of space.
Yes, there's a wall of perfume between us, preventing us from any form of contact. Yeah, so things happened. We disappeared for a while. We've been actually weirdly quite busy.
Yeah, well, because you have 2 lives.
I have 2 lives, yes. Yeah. I have lots of different families, but we won't mention all of them.
No.
I have 2 lives. I have an NHS life. And I have a perfume life, and obviously the perfume life took a bit of a backseat whilst the NHS life went haywire.
Yeah. Quite midly at Milton Keynes Hospital.
Yes. It went all very different. So I work in HR, which is very boring. So I won't bore anybody who's listening to this, because I imagine that actually there's no 2 letters that make people turn off anything quicker than H and R together. But it was an interesting challenge working in a healthcare setting during a global pandemic. So I have to say it was fascinating, but it was a lot.
Yeah. It was. And then, well, it's just been manic trying to run a business and exist and do the work that also needs to happen while you're trying to run a business. So obviously Pia and I run All Fiction together, and it's just been like quite a lot, I would say, to keep swimming at the beginning, because it was very stressful. No idea what was going to happen. Like, it was just immediate panic stations. And at the same time being ill. So it was like, oh great, what do we do? And anyway, we've sort of, I don't want to say come out the other side, because COVID is not over.
No, and it's not going to be for a couple of years, I don't think.
It's with us for a while. But sort of, we've weathered the initial storm with surprisingly good humour as normal. And we've got a lot of interesting projects that have come up as a result of it. So I think it's, the world, the fragrance industry for sure has changed. The world has changed. And I'm busy as ever, but it feels fun in a weird way, which feels terrible to say.
But have you changed, Nick?
I mean, I'm always changing. I'm on an ever-changing path.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. Life is a journey.
Life is a journey.
It's a journey. It's not a destination.
And you will come out of this COVID chrysalis and you will be born again, I feel. I think there are big things coming.
Sure. Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it's weird, it's different, it's unusual, and sometimes nice and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Shrug.
Just take every day as it comes, and I'm sure our dear readers have also been feeling their lives change in unprecedented and significant ways.
Unprecedented. If another email comes through and says, how are you keeping up in these unprecedented times? Lovely PR. Please stop.
I just like to reply with, I'm not coping.
Just like...
And then wait for the silence.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the people that sent the nicest message were really weird. The insurance people. They're like, I hope you're well and staying safe. And I was like, yes, thank you.
Thank you,
That's
yes.
the best. Like, everyone else is like, how are you doing? And I don't want to be like, like everything's fine on the surface, but underneath screaming continuously for 6 months.
But I mean, of course they'd say that. They're insurance people. They want you to be well. Because
Yes.
if you're not well, you're claiming.
Well, this is very true. But it was like surprising that felt like the most normal and sort of like warm, I guess, version of, oh, I hope you're doing well in unprecedented times. Like, please don't say it, please, because no one is.
No.
Everyone is and isn't doing well. They're surviving.
Yeah, we live in a hellscape, and that's what this is.
Yeah, well, 2020, the year from hell. Anyway, should we do, we should talk about something a bit more positive.
Yeah, so thank
feel-
you. Thank you for joining us on Depression Chat. Yeah, so the world has changed. We have changed with it, and we are growing on a journey. That is the summary of this. So I guess we wanted to do a couple of things today because it's been a long time. We want to talk a little bit and just have a quite informal chat about how the industry is changing and has changed, I suppose. Change is the word today.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's had to respond to something it's never had to respond to. And also we've got some stuff to sniff because we've got, and I mean this literally, a metric fuck ton of stuff that we've not smelled.
There's tons.
Interestingly, because lots of stuff has been pushed back, there hasn't been a lot of launches, but it is currently September and everybody launches everything in September ready for Christmas. So actually this has been quite a busy month. It has been quite the month for my postman, who is giving me more and more angry looks every time he has to leave a post.
Because he's like, people are already ordering more online,
Yeah.
I don't need to deal with this.
Yeah, he's literally throwing the packages at my front door. There you go.
You can see it on the doorbell.
Yeah, you can see it on the doorbell. It goes off. Here it comes. It's just launching them at me because it's just sick of carrying weird and wonderful boxes full of perfume. He probably thinks I have a problem. Yeah, so what do you want to do first, Nick? Do you want to talk or do you want to sniff?
Let's talk a little bit, I think, about how the industry has changed.
Okay.
And how the world there has changed as well.
Okay.
Because the perfume industry as it was that you would, or like fragrance shopping as it were, rather, is that you would go into a shop, you would smell some things, you would pick up things yourself, you would spray testers, you would decide what you like, you'd wander around, no, like, not a great deal of thought having to go into how does this situation now take place.
Yes.
And the shift from shops being closed for months and months on end because people couldn't go out shopping, don't want to go into central like busy places in general. You can't have everyone just pick up whatever tester because don't want to leave any trace of virus on a surface and all of those kind of things. So it's gone back to a very old service style.
Yeah, which is let me get it out of the cupboard and spray it for you. Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, as a salesperson who lived through the swap from counter to it's open and people can spray stuff, I kind of loved counter service because there was like a very, I don't know why exactly, but I really quite liked the sort of scripted formality of it in a weird way, because if someone came to you, it was because they wanted something. That didn't mean they wanted to buy something. It meant that there was like a very specific interaction that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier than kind of doing that, how are you? Can I help today? Thing, which is really awkward.
Yeah, because I will always go, I'm just browsing, thank you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Especially when I walk into Lush, when I basically walk in with my middle finger up. Don't talk to me. I'm buying a gift for somebody. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I know exactly what I need.
Yes.
That's
if
it.
one more smiling person comes up to me with good intentions, I'm going to unleash the rage.
Relatable. So there's this kind of like return to counter service of someone saying, I would like to try this fragrance, and then they'll spray it for you and hand you the blotter and all of that kind of thing. I think it's quite nice in a weird way. Obviously, people are going out less, therefore they are wearing less fragrance.
Yes, because lots of people wear fragrance not for the pleasure of it, but just because of the function of it, which is to smell nice when going to places. And
Yes, and being around other humans.
Yes, which in itself is an awful thing. Why would you not? But if you do choose to be around other humans, then I suppose that is something that you would do. And it makes sense. But if you're not doing that, then yeah, you're just going to stay at home and wearing, deodorant and having clean smelling clothes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So people will be buying less, I guess.
Yeah, I that feels like a trend that I've seen broadly happening, where people are buying less perfume.
Yeah. Which is why we've seen the shift to home fragrance, which has been massive.
Yeah. So people are burning more candles, using more diffusers, using more room sprays, all of those kind of things. And obviously the other part of the industry that's really impacted is the cleaning part of the industry, because the demand for those products has surged.
Yeah, hugely.
And people have an expectation that it should smell like it does something, cleans the surface, and therefore there is a smell that lingers and la 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 la. So the sort of like really quick shift towards different parts of the industry changing their importance has been really interesting as a kind of like broad fragrance industry.
Because like hand sanitizer and soap is going to become more important, and people are thinking, well, I'm buying a lot of soap to wash my hands with, I might as well buy something that smells nice that I like. Yeah.
Well, and especially if you're not like buying perfume so much.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit more money if you're anything like me. more to spend on the home things that are kind of like comforting and nice and pleasurable to use.
And I think there has been that kind of that uptake in disposable income in a way, because obviously, not including anyone who has unfortunately lost their jobs or anything because of the situation, and that's a massive group of people. But for those who are now working from home, they're not paying money to commute, whether that's by car or by train. They're not then spending a lot of money on lunches and coffees in high price locations. They are, during lockdown, I remember talking to lots of friends who were saying, we're just saving so much money because we're not doing anything. So there is that more disposable income, and a lot of that's going towards home improvement, as we've seen. People are, making their castle somewhere they can enjoy to be, because that's the only place.
Tolerate to be here.
Yes, I can tolerate to be here now because I've just had decking put in. Because that's where they're going to be. So we've seen a lot of that. People have got a bit more money to spend on things.
Yeah.
But it's how they're spending it that's what's shifting.
Yeah. I think that's what's kind of interesting. And I think the way that brands have to respond is more forms of sampling and getting products to people. Yeah. Because obviously distance selling or buying online or whatever with fragrance is not the easiest thing. No. You have to or want to smell the thing you're buying. Yeah. Very few people want to take a punt on a product that costs 3 figures. Yeah. And hope that it smells right based on us chatting about it on here.
Yeah, it's a big risk. And this is something actually Essential, who is an online retailer of beauty and fragrance, who I write for. They did a survey around this, and they found that a lot of people were reluctant to buy perfume online when they've not tried it. So it raises the question, okay, how do we, in a affordable but also logistically possible way, provide people with samples? And they've done their blind fragrance trial where they've picked 10 fragrances that are of kind of, I think 9 fragrances actually, that are new, like important this year, and they've put those into a blind trial that customers can now buy and then redeem against their cost.
I didn't know that they could buy the set as well this year.
So you can, and it's not a blind one now because obviously everyone knows what the fragrances are, but they're trying to encourage people to think about sampling and trying fragrances that they wouldn't necessarily
That's a really good idea. Really, really solid. But I think that what's interesting is we've had a couple of people come our way for like new fragrance development, but I'm very keen on explaining to them, you must think about how you're going to sample this. Yeah. You can't just think about, what's the bottle and everything. No, what's the sampling process?
Yeah. And that challenge is like extra for new brands. Yeah. Who haven't got the historic, if someone loves Chanel, well, it's Chanel, so I might like it. I know I like that brand. Exactly. If they're a new brand, people will be like, well, I have to try it first. Mm-hmm. Because we can write good copy. We can write really good copy, but it's not always going to be what sells it if people can't smell it.
Yeah. You need to get your hands on it, and you need to want to get your hands on it. That's the other thing. Anyway, so there's like a big shift in the way that the perfume part of the industry is going to work and have to respond to the changed planet, effectively.
One thing I wonder, and I maybe hope for, is I wonder if it will challenge people, I think it will generally, but from the perfume industry, to think about less is more kind of approach. Because, you know, as a writer, for somebody who gets to, you know, in a very fortunate position to try most of the mainstream and niche fragrances at launch in the UK, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think that, you know, those things have a very short shelf life if you're already launching 6 or 7 fragrances a year, which some brands do.
Yeah.
And everybody just had the you know, everybody was gearing up in sort of February, March for launches, and then it all just stopped, and some brands have just not launched those products and won't launch them until next year. So
or maybe not at all.
Or maybe they'll shelf them, you know, who knows.
There's all sorts of places where that's happening, and I do kind of think it's a good thing that we slow down a bit, because the number of launches, I mean, I haven't paid attention to how many it's been this year. I'm sure we can get the number from Fragrances of the World because they keep paid close attention. But it feels like a lot less has launched this year.
Yeah, a lot less.
And I don't know that that's a bad thing.
I would say, from just thinking about it from my perspective, I get a relatively steady stream. It goes quiet a couple of times a year where I just don't get anything. It went entirely quiet until September.
Yeah,
and
basically from March.
Yeah. But from March to September, it was next to nothing. Yeah. And then it's been lots.
And then it's been everything, because Christmas is coming. Yeah. We'll do our annual launches at Christmas.
And I suppose like some of the mainstream brands had already had, you know, marketing campaigns shot. Yeah. Orders made. Probably it was all produced, manufactured, ready. So I suppose they may not have the option to go, well, we'll push it back to next year.
We can push it.
Yeah, so...
So big shifts.
Big shifts.
Should we sniff stuff now?
Yeah, let's sniff stuff.
Let's sniff stuff.
Let's sniff.
It's Fume Chat, Fume Chat, here we go.
I'll let you choose where we start, because everything's out of my physical reach.
Yeah, okay. So what I think it kind of makes sense to start with mainstream, since you just mentioned the idea.
Should we do mainstream, then niche?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. I've not ordered them like that, so that's going to be fun watching the
trap. Because it's like trying to decide what is what. But I think that's a nice spray mechanism.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a Chanel spray mechanism you've got there, Nick, in your hand.
Very satisfying.
That's like the Rolls Royce of spray mechanisms. I would say a French car brand, but all French car brands are trash, so...
Ooh. Woo. Woo. Anyway, so this, what is it called again? Coco Mademoiselle.
Coco Mademoiselle
Le Privée.
Yes. Okay. So this is for the night time. So the idea behind this is it's a softer, slightly silkier, wearing your lingerie, basically your pyjamas from Primark, vibe.
Right.
So the patchouli aspect has been dialed right down.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of the like candied citrus you get from Coco Mademoiselle. You get a lot of the flowers, a lot of the musks,
and a little bit of the sweetness.
Yeah, a little bit of the woodiness, but really...
not with the patchouli. It's very transparent, and it's very sort of silky.
Yes.
And it smells nice, and it reminds me of. Well, it smells like Coco Mademoiselle.
Yes. It's like a veil of a scent. I think it's very light and airy. My problem with this is I don't feel it justifies its existence. I smell it and I go, yeah, but it smells so like Coco Mademoiselle.
Yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah. It's probably literally as a halo, so that we've got an excuse to talk about Coco Mademoiselle again. Yeah. But I mean, you don't need that excuse. You can just put the advert on it. New advert for Christmas.
So Coco M is not my favourite Chanel.
No.
I think it's nice. I liked the Intense a lot more than I liked the original, which I think the Intense came out last year or the year before.
Oh, and that was the one that had loads more
patchouli. So I thought that was nice. I still wouldn't personally wear it. I think... Perhaps if you're somebody who has been put off by Coco Mademoiselle because it has got quite that harshness of the patchouli in it.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, then this is probably what you want. If you already have Coco Mademoiselle or the Intense, I can't see a reason why you would want to buy this, personally.
No.
Because you're not getting anything...
It's not saying anything new. No. But, you know, it still smells good.
And the glass is this lovely frosted sort of pink glass.
And it does have that had a very tactile scent. It's a very nice tactile...
It's all very high quality. It smells lovely.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, if Coco Mademoiselle didn't exist, I'd be like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, but it does. So
I know it does.
But it does. And then I guess, speaking of other versions of something.
Flankers.
Like flankers. Oops, whoops. We have got Le Mâle. Is it Le Mâle Parfum?
Yes, Le Mâle Parfum.
Okay.
Which I think because it's 25 years of Le Mâle.
Oh, yeah, that would make some sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 25 years. He's 25 years old now.
Oh, well, he's practically an adult.
Yeah, almost.
Almost a grown up. So, comes in a black bottle now.
Yes,
with a
he's
gold
got
lid
the
instead of...
gold head spray. That is supposed to be his head.
Oh, okay,
guess.
well. I mean, okay. Le Mâle, for me, carries a lot of baggage, a lot of memories, mostly of lesbians in the Queen Shilling or buying bottles off me on a Saturday night because they've run out and they're going to go into town. They're going to see them later.
Yeah.
But they've run out of Le Mâle and I had to buy some more. So I have a very specific, it's gay clubs in the early noughties.
Yeah, I very much get that vibe because it was me who was permeating the walls and the very fibre of those buildings with too many sprays of Le Mâle. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And so I can't smell Le Mâle without thinking I'm in a club. It smells like I feel like there's smoke and too much drink and who's that guy? Yeah. All of that kind of stuff. And then this is a really nice homage.
Yeah, totally.
To it.
It feels like it's a modernisation of it.
Yeah. So it doesn't have quite the kind of minty, lavendery. Well, I mean, there's an aspect of that, but it's not got that kind of bush
it's
freshness.
not like that bracing barbershop mintiness, I think.
No, it's more on the kind of vanillic ambery part, which I'm finding really, really nice.
And there's a lavender in there. It's kind of like a candied lavender, that malted, sugary.
Exactly.
And then in the base it's warmer. It's more like tonka and sort of ambery. And you do get some spices up top which give a little bit of freshness.
Yeah, I mean there's still a freshness, but it's nowhere near as woof as the original Le Mâle.
See, I love Le Mâle. I'm a big fan of it. I still wear it. I think that it was such a genius thing because what they did was they launched something that was undeniably queer.
Yeah.
So it was a sailor with a big bulge and a pert bottom and abs in the bottle. The advert and the marketing was all inspired by the Fassbinder film Querelle, which is basically about gay sailors. Mm-hmm. And gay people loved it, obviously, but then straight people loved it because they weren't in on the joke.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that they're like, oh yeah, it's so butch, it's masculine. It's like, you don't even know.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. So it was like a massive success, and I still wear it. I will probably wear it until the day I die.
I mean, I remember speaking of the fact that this is launching at Christmas time. I remember every Christmas I would literally get box after box after box of the stuff of outers because we would sell so much Le Mâle at Christmas time. It was crazy. The numbers that we're just like a little shop in Bristol.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how I was like, if it's doing this well here, it kind of melts my brain to think about how much it must sell.
Insane. And this I think they've done what any good flanker should do, which is they pay homage to the original. You can smell the DNA, the spirit of the original in there, but it extends it and takes it somewhere else.
Yes.
And I think this takes it to a more modern place because our tastes are a little bit sweeter, a little bit more in their woody amber territory now.
Yes, because there's a shadow of that 1 million dry down in here.
Yeah, which would make sense being it's a Pouge fragrance.
I guess, but also that's also set the trend for the past.
Yeah.
However many years it was since 1 million, 10 plus. I have no idea anymore.
I've been wearing this a lot, and I keep coming back to it when I'm like, oh, I don't really know what to wear. I'll just wear that. So I think it's good. I think a lot of the other Le Mâle flankers have been a bit disappointing.
They just haven't said anything interesting.
No,
whereas this is nice.
Quite like. I'll stop my Le Mâle tangent in a minute, I promise. But they did one last year or year before. I always say that because I can never remember the year. Called Le Beau. Oh, yeah. Which was with the fig leaf, which I hated. And then I tried again, and it does that kind of marine metallic thing really interestingly because it has a woody coconut note in it. I think it's actually one of those things.
I'm pulling a coconut.
You're pulling a face at me, yeah.
Because speaking of nights out in the early noughties...
Malibu. Okay. I think we'll leave it there.
we ought to. Is there anything else that you would consider mainstream? This one? The Acqua di Parma. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I would agree with that because it's if it's in a house Fraser in Bristol, to me, then it must be vaguely mainstream. So this is the Acqua di Parma Colonia Futura.
Okay.
And this is the one that's all about sustainability and right? You know the backstory.
Yeah, so I think it's they're calling it their ode to nature. So they're wanting to make something that has a positive, or maybe not a positive, but not a negative environmental impact. So the fragrance is 99% natural, which actually doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have a positive or negative impact because those materials may themselves not be sustainable. But and it doesn't make it better, but that's what they've gone with.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of pandering a little bit to the clean, natural beauty trend.
You can't hear my eye. Maybe you could hear my eye roll.
Well, I had the pleasure of witnessing it in person.
Yeah.
And it was quite a large one. And then they've done some sustainable things with the packaging. So the cap, which is usually Bakelite, is now recycled and recyclable plastic.
Okay.
The bottle, you can remove the spray mechanism and then recycle the glass.
Cool.
The label on the box and the bottle is from recycled marble dust from quarries.
That's actually a very nice texture.
It's a very nice texture. It's a lovely sort of ivy green, sort of olivey green maybe colour. It's lovely.
It's an eau de Nil.
Yes. I have a problem with this.
What's the problem?
So I'm here for all of that. I think it's all great. They're trying to be ecologically conscious. I just don't see the point of doing it on one fragrance. I think if you really are committing to that, then do it on every fragrance in your collection. Because this is not going to sell so many bottles that it makes it actually a worthwhile impact. I think if you did it on all of your fragrances, then I think that would be a really bold move.
Yes, and I think they should.
Yes.
They should just do that. It's all very well talking about sustainability and renewable materials and blah, 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 blah. But if that impact stops at, I've wrapped it in plastic, if that impact stops at, well, we've only done it on one product, then what's the point?
See, when you do it on one product, it just looks like you're launching a product to appeal to people in that market and therefore sell to that market. So you're just doing it cynically for money.
Yes.
So I don't know, to give them their credit, I don't know whether this is just them testing the waters to see whether there is appetite for them to do that financially. They're an LVMH brand, so maybe they are being a bit cautious about that kind of thing. I don't know.
I mean,
but I think that's what they should do, and I'm
just
surprised
turn
they
around
haven't.
and do it. Do the lot.
Other brands just do it and don't say it. So I know that there are brands who I've looked up and seen that they're all quite, sustainable and they don't really make too much of a fuss about it. They just do it.
Well, no, because I feel like it's something you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
If you're a luxury product, you don't need to exist, so you better be doing like the sustainable legwork. Yeah. Is all I'll say. Anyway, it smells nice.
Yeah, I mean the fragrance is lovely. So it does smell more natural, and I know that sounds a bit silly because we always say that natural and synthetic, one is not necessarily better than the other, and actually the best fragrances are ones that probably use both because they kind of have the space and expanse to smell good, and that is the foundation
and everything else.
Of modern perfumery. This does have a natural vibe. I feel like this smells like a lovely Aveda shampoo, and I mean that really positively.
Yes, it feels essential oilsy, but not in a bad way, because sometimes those essential oilsy things can feel a bit like.
Yes, it's like an
just
Oxo cube.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. It's just like muddy smelling. Yes. There's a lot of space and freshness in here. And I guess obviously that's the style of it. It's a cologne anyway. So with a cologne, do you really need to do a lot with synthetics? Not really. If it's like the point is that it smells fresh and clean and good for you and citrusy and zesty, which this does all of that. There's kind of citronella vibe.
It's like a really strong sort of citrus punch, and then it goes kind of like herbal lavender. So whereas the La Mâle was quite a sweet lavender, this is kind of a herbal, almost mossy lavender.
Yes.
And then it's kind of, I don't know, I get a big like patchouli vibe going on.
Yeah, there's a nice woodiness to it. But it also smells weirdly. It smells like it's meant to be good for you.
It does. It smells like it's like a tonic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. I wouldn't drink it though.
No, because denatured alcohol these days.
No, these days. It's just not what it used to be.
Ruining your chances to drink your perfume.
Yeah, so that's Colonia Futura. That's like a thumbs up. We like the smell. We approve of the sustainability message. But come on, Acqua di Parma, you can do a bit more.
Carry it across. Do everything.
Get rid of your Bakelite. Come on.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Get on with it. Get on with it. I don't think any of the rest of these will be considered mainstream.
No, I think they're all a bit nichey, actually.
Okay, that's cool. Where should we go next? So, am I just going to pick randomly?
Go random.
Cool. That one. So this is L'Homme à la Rose from Maison Kurkdjian, and I love à la Rose.
Yes.
Because I'm a sucker for a rose. We're both a sucker for a rose. If you listen to this, you know that we're just pathetic. And
yes,
we like roses.
We are pathetic simpletons that will coo at anything with a rose in it.
Oh, that's ever so nice.
No, it's lovely. It's
lovely.
just beautiful, isn't it? That's really lovely and innovative.
I'm annoyed at myself for liking this.
So this is the masculine version.
Yes.
Obviously, Francis Kurkdjian, he is all about building a wardrobe with his fragrance. So it's about, you would wear certain things at certain occasions, certain, like we'd wear different clothing. You wouldn't wear like a suit to the beach, that kind of thing.
No, exactly. Which makes total sense.
So I think A La Rose was really, really a good success for them, especially in the Asian market. I think it sold really well. So they've done a masculine version, and it's just a kind of a woodier, fresher version, I think.
Yeah. This, just really funny, there's like a white rose bush that I walk past on the way to the train station in the mornings. And it kind of reminds me of the smell of that. Kind of like a nice peppery, lemony rose.
I'm sorry, I've just got distracted thinking about that my drag queen name would be Rosebush.
Rosebush.
Yeah. That would be my drag queen name. Okay, yeah. I get that. I like, there's a kind of a fresh juniper ginny thing, which I think I really, really appreciate in this.
Yeah, it's got a very nice aromatic character, and I don't want to think too much about it because I just really like it. Which is annoying. The
rose is very, very pale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that crisp, like, zing it and putting some on.
Oh, okay, go for it. It's very fresh. I feel it exists for me as kind of like Acqua Universalis, that like white t-shirt scent. It's not very dressed up. I think it's very casual, very soft, very...
the mic instead of my arm.
Why did you do that?
I'm just an idiot, sorry.
It's lovely. It's done in that very clear, concise way that Francis Kurkdjian makes fragrances.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I
can't add nothing to add.
No.
I like it.
It
is nice.
Would be wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that smells good on.
Yeah, it does. It goes much more like sort of woody on skin.
Yeah, it's already becoming much richer woody than it is rosy. But that smells really nice. Really, really.
I think even though it's L'Homme à la Rose, if you are a woman, a person of the women's,
yes,
you could absolutely wear this because I think it just gives you something that's
it's just a nice woody, like crisp, woody, fresh rose.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to gender it.
I wouldn't be put off by that.
But I understand why people might, or I understand the idea of giving men permission to wear this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because some men still require that.
Yeah, like, oh, rose.
Yeah.
That's a bit like my grandma. Well, your grandma was cooler than you, so...
She was. That she was. Let's stick on the men's theme. I guess, because it says Pour Homme on the bottle.
Okay.
So this is Gravitas Pour Homme from Noughton and Wilson.
Yes.
Which is Dan Noughton, a.k.a. Mr. Smelly.
Mr. Smelly, 1970, 80, 1990. Because I think it's related to his year of death. I don't want to be rude. I think, Mr. Smelly. Who is a fantastic fragrance YouTuber who does things with such wit that he's hard not to enjoy. We love
He's
Mr.
really
Smelly.
fun.
He's very funny. He has this really kind of fun, like 90s vibe to everything. And I just think it's really great. He just does things, and he talks about perfume in a really nice way. So he created a Fougère fragrance that is his brand. And knowing him and the taste of fragrances he loves, I smelled this and I was like, that makes
total sense. Yeah. Because he loves a Fougère.
He loves a Fougère.
And this is...
a Fougère.
It is indeed that.
Yes,
yeah.
And it's a very lovely Fougère, actually. I think it leans more retro Fougère for me.
Yeah, it's like 70s, 80s style and very crisp green.
Yeah.
And I mean, we sprayed this earlier and I was like, oh, I'm glad I really like this.
Yeah, it's always hard when someone launches a fragrance and they send it to you to try and you're like, oh...
But what if...
What if I hate it? And then I have to make the decision as to whether I say it or something. But no, thankfully this is really lovely.
Yeah, and what's really great is there's a nice kind of animatic, slightly leathery thing that happens in the dry down, which works really, really well. So it's that kind of crisp, mossy, lavendery, tonka-y.
It's got a kind of an auburn colour to it though. It makes me think of walnut dashboards and I don't know, that kind of colour. It's kind of like that sort of ambery colour.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
It smells luxurious to me.
Yeah. It feels like there's cash in this Fougère.
So, yeah, there is cash. So what I would say is if you're looking at a fragrance from a YouTuber, don't buy from Jeremy Fragrance because he's terrible. And those fragrances are not great and they're stupid. Who would call a fragrance office for men? What's next? I don't know. Funeral parlour for men?
I would wear that.
I would wear that. Really, really good idea. I'm just going to say that we came up with that first.
Just
Jeremy.
a bunch of
Please do not
workplaces,
steal it.
though. Yes. Police
But this
station.
is lovely. I'm really a big fan of this. This is really great. Well done, Dan.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And I'm not a kind of like masculine in inverted commas fragrance kind of person, but
But you can't beat a good fougere. That's the thing.
you can't. You just can't.
You just can't beat them.
You just can't beat them. Can't beat them. There is something very sort of like Jicky-esque about it, actually. The more I smell it. Good work. Good work.
Well done, everybody involved with that. Well done.
So next up is from Histoires de Parfums. And what's the 7753?
Yes, which is the dimensions of the Mona Lisa, which is apparently always smaller than you expect it to be, even though I've never seen it in person.
I've not been to what's it called? The Louvre.
The Louvre. I've never been. So I enjoy this because it's a tuberose.
I don't know.
Do you not? I like it.
I don't like it.
It's kind of this kind of green syrupy tuberose with a little bit of a heliotrope vibe. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's the camphor part of the tuberose played with, and there's this kind of like ivy leaf or something like
there's a green
crisp green
crispness. Yeah, I like.
This is basically two of the buttons that I don't like being pressed.
Okay.
So which is that kind of like trad green that I'm not crazy about, and then tuberose. Full stop. Because I don't really love a tuberose for me.
Yeah.
No.
See, this is pressing two of my buttons that I do like, which is like that kind of green vibe and the tuberose vibe. It does get quite powdery as it goes into the base. I enjoy it. I've been wearing it a little bit, actually, I have to say. I like it. And it's all about, I think it's inspired by like the enigmatic wry smile of the Mona Lisa. You know,
right.
What was she thinking?
Yeah.
And she was probably thinking that this chair is very uncomfortable, I would imagine.
I've been sat here for days.
Yes, I've been sat here for
days. Get a move on, Leo.
Who knows
Da
what she was
Vinci?
thinking? She was probably just thinking about what she wanted for dinner.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's probably what if I was sat for a painting for hours and hours and hours, I would be like, what am I going to eat?
Well, they would have to paint me eating because that's just what would happen.
KFC.
It would just literally be me in a bucket of KFC. And just like hot wings around my face. What I love about Histoires de Parfums is their 50ml bottles are actually literally half the bottle as if you've cut it down.
Which is
I think that's such a clever design.
It is super cool.
Thing.
I mean, I keep smelling it, hoping that I'll like a part of it, but I don't. And I also, to me, don't know that I don't know what I think of when I think of the Mona Lisa in terms of odour, but I certainly don't think tuberose.
I would think of something warmer because the colour palette is quite warm, isn't it?
Yeah. But then this does have that kind of dustiness that I would also associate with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's dusty.
Sheem dusty. Let's smell something a bit fresher now.
Yes. Let's go. So this is from Atelier Cologne. So this is their latest, which is called Love Osmanthus.
Which I do.
We
I do love Osmanthus.
And this is, I read the copy about this and it was all about love in a secret garden. I got bored with the copy, I'll be honest. But the fragrance is very Atelier Cologne. So if you're not familiar with the brand, they create what they call Cologne Absolus, which are these long-lasting, intense citrus colognes. So the idea is that they want to make citrus notes which are, typically lighter and less long-lasting. The opposite of that, which is to say stronger and more long-lasting.
Yeah.
And they do that very well. I love a lot of their fragrances. Orange Sanguine is like one of my favourites. It's like showering in orange, which is what you should do. And
do you remember that trend of eating oranges in the shower that was like 5
telling me about
minutes?
this, and I have no idea that this is a thing that existed. I think honestly, it's one of your fever dreams.
It was not, because I very specifically remembered doing it.
Well,
I'm
just
gonna
because you
dig out
did
the
it
tweet.
doesn't mean it's a trend. I know you set trends, Nick, but not everything you do is a trend.
I respectfully disagree.
But yes, they do some really, really great fragrances. They're all very colourful. Their shops are great. I love going into an Atelier Cologne boutique.
Yeah, I love their soaps.
Yeah, their soaps
love
are
their
really
soaps.
good.
Been using because I was using the Rose Silence Menahara soap for a while, and then I got Pomelo Paradis.
Oh, nice.
Which is just
that's a great
fabulous.
fragrance.
I love Pomelo Paradis. Anyway, so the Love Osmanthus. It's an
osmanthus. It's like kind of the fruity aspects of the osmanthus, so the peachy, apricot,
yeah,
jamminess.
yeah.
But it's very fresh.
It's super fresh and it's very zesty, and so it's like a zesty Osmanthus, but it doesn't play on the tea part and it doesn't play on the kind of leathery part that you get in Osmanthus. So you just get the like fruity aspect and the kind of like mandarin zesty thing that's also happening at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of lemon. I think it's got a real sparkle of lemon. There's like a hint of greenery in there that I think, but then it really just kind of fades out. And I kind of, when I wrote about my review for this fragrance, I kind of said it's like a pop song, like a really fun pop song that just fades out towards the end. Like it doesn't really develop much. It just gives you everything up front and then it just like trails off.
Feels like a really strong pop song opening.
Yeah.
That has nothing, like it doesn't carry on, like the chorus isn't great. And
he just loses you at the middle.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, what's going on here? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
It's such a great intro. Yeah. And that is accurate.
Because it feels to me more like a citrus fragrance than it does an Osmanthus or a floral fragrance. So I feel like
it's a citrus fruity more than it's a Osmanthus floral.
But it's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's lovely. I'd have liked to have seen. I kind of think I'd like to have seen like the fleshy leather part played out, but maybe that's not what this fragrance is about. Maybe that's not what it wants to do.
No, I mean, I don't know what I want about it to be different. Apart from I would just like it to be a bit more substantive, I guess, because it just feels like it's going very, very fast. Yeah. Even on the card, actually. Yeah. Like I've lost all of that zest part, and I've got this nice peachy apricot-y thing, but that's about it.
That's it. Yeah. I think the problem for them is like, actually, how do you continue to make that theme novel and exciting?
Well, I mean, I think basically all of their citrus things have been great.
Yeah.
Some of the other things, they did this electric pepper and like a really great tobacco, and they did some other really great things, but they've not stuck around. Because I assume what people go to Atelier Cologne for is the citrus.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's how I think of the brand.
The stuff that tends to be in the department stores tends to be the colognes, like the citrus ones, and then the ones that aren't, like the rose,
anonyme,
the vetiver fatale, or is that the jasmine fatale?
I don't remember.
There's those ones which are more about non-citrus ingredients also seem to be quite widely accessible. I like the Musk Imperial and the Oolong Infini and that kind of thing.
That Oolong is just, it's lovely.
It's not an Oolong.
No. It's a very nice, soft, tea-ish thing.
It's tea adjacent.
Tea adjacent and musk.
Yeah, they did. I love the Mimosa Indigo. Did you ever try that?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, like,
it's like a leather mimosa.
Yeah, leather mimosa. I thought it was cool, but I'm not personally crazy about mimosa because there's a cucumber facet.
Of course, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm so predictable. So predictable.
Holy cucumber, Batman. Right, okay, next one. I'm not saying the name because I had to try to say this on an IGTV video and I got so confused.
So this is from Maison Crivelli and it's Papyrus Moléculaire.
Just say it such ease. I was like, Moléculaire. Mona Lisa. No, I can say. I like Maison Crivelli. I think their aesthetic is so spot on. I just want to look at it for a very long time. They do really cool things like when you spray on one of their tester cards, it then kind of reveals an image which is inspired by the fragrance, which is of parts of the materials.
It's like a microscopic zoom level of the cell walls.
It's really cool. Everything's really high quality. It's all about encounters with ingredients. So the ingredient is really like the starting point.
Yeah.
And this one is Papyrus, and it's inspired by an encounter with papyrus powder. When I think so, with some women smoking cigarillos at the same time. Or something. I was looking at that. So the creator was inspired then to work with the perfumer to create this. I personally like this. I think it sits very much in the same space as Le Labo's Santal 33 and the Harris Post Santal, which is that very fresh, clean, slightly creamy, almost like white sandalwood. It's like really shown the expansive nature and the fresh nature of wood with great diffusion.
Agreed.
Yes.
Confused why it's called papyrus, because to me it's a sandalwood.
Yeah, it's much more of a sandalwood than papyrus. It does go quite powdery at the time, and there's this kind of like inky, almost like leathery thing that happens in the dry down, which is
the papyrus.
Almost like the dark grains in wood, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice image.
Yeah, it's lovely. I wrote that in my review.
Isn't that good? You sure knows how to talk about perfume?
I do. I really actually do. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not crazy about it because there's a cucumbery, violet leafy note that's happening.
See, it's interesting. That is like your kryptonite. And I actually love a cucumber note. Like, I love that cucumber Sprite they sell every summer.
I bought a can of that.
By mistake.
By mistake.
Did you drink it?
And I was so thirsty that I was like, I'm downing this. And then I was like, what have I done?
So for you, like, is an unexpected cucumber like much worse than one that you're expecting?
Much like a cat jumping out of the way of a cucumber. Yes.
It's the same, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not. If I don't expect it to be there, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
If I'm expecting it to be there, I could be like, well, I don't want this here.
But it is like that
But
kind
it's
of
there.
really aqueous freshness,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. And so I really, really get the kind of like post-Santal, Santal 33 vibe from this. Like, totally get it. And the violet leaf is really doing a lot to sort of like power the fragrance and lift it up. But cucumber, so I'm personally not, I don't want to put it on. Shrug. Like, I can see what would be appealing to other people who aren't so cucumber averse as I am. I have a problem.
Yeah, because I don't smell it, and I think you oversmell that.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
smell, like, I don't think, my first impression is not cucumber, it's a facet of it. I get more of a soft woody powderiness, right?
Yeah, no, I can smell that, like, but I have to smell through the cucumber to get to that part.
Right.
Because I find it so impactful.
Yeah, okay, you need to move through the cucumber.
Yeah.
And just pass it. Move on from the cucumber.
Move on from the cucumber.
Keep going. Oh, is that the last one? That was
I think
quick.
so.
That was quick.
That was quick. We have like rocketed through these.
We have actually. Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm not crazy about that. Or I think that's nice, but I don't want to think too much about why it's nice. So this is the latest fragrance from Gallivant.
Yes, and Gallivant is a London-based fragrance brand that creates fragrances inspired by cities. It's all about travel. That's why the fragrances come in a really handy 30ml size, which is great because they're affordable. They're a great price point. I think currently they're about £60-65.
Yeah.
Which is really
Which
lovely.
is great, yeah.
And they're all really interesting takes on those cities, kind of subversive a lot of the time.
Yeah, because like it doesn't do the exact thing you'd expect.
No. So
Which is
like
cool.
for London, it's all about like cucumber and rose. You love that, and leather. And then you've got Los Angeles, which is like this like watermelon tuberose.
Yeah, that's a
leather
bonkers
smoke as well.
thing.
Yeah,
I love that. I think
is
it's
just
so clever.
Lots of different things
Yeah.
somehow that shouldn't work together but do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like hot tarmac and tuberose.
So what's this one, Nick?
This is Bukhara,
Which is where?
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan, yes.
I was like, wait, I've
What is
recently
the
seen
capital
this.
of Uzbekistan?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think it's Tashkent. I think.
Okay.
I think. I'm
This
good
would
with
be really-
capital cities.
I'm not, or I'm okay, but it's not on Eurovision, so which is how I know most capital cities is through Eurovision.
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because it's, you know,
because
it's Riga calling. you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm a homosexual.
Yeah.
Not geography as my strong point.
No, I think if they'd have told geography through the medium of Eurovision, I would have
been a lot better.
I would have been so good.
I would have been a lot better. Would have
I
been
mean, like the only
okay.
country that matters is Sweden because they win everything.
Not every year though.
Not every year. Sweden and Ireland went through a real phase though in the like 90s and noughties. There was a year when Ireland won 3 times in a row. This is not a Eurovision podcast. We are moving on from this.
Yeah, we are. On to Bukhara.
On to Bukhara.
In Uzbekistan.
Which is not in the Eurovision broadcasting zone.
We didn't have Eurovision this year. And
I
I'm
know.
Really upset.
You can tell it's really dragging on us.
It's a lot.
It's weighing on us.
Because Iceland should have won.
Iceland should have won, and they will never
they'll
get
never-
to admit that song again.
No, they can't admit the same song. I hope next year he enters again because they can stay on. Anyway, like let's not, because otherwise I'm going to do a Eurovision podcast for 25 minutes talking about why Iceland have been cheated. And I just
We'll put that up on the Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. If you think we should, and you would pay us money, just let us know.
Just let us know. We can talk rubbish there too.
But just let you know, we can barely get together to record this, let alone exclusive content.
No, true. Cool. Anyway, so Bukhara is an iris fragrance.
Yes.
It is. I love iris. How do you feel about iris?
I am a big fan of iris, actually.
Yeah.
I quite like an iris. I will wear an iris. I will be friends with an iris. You know, I just think it's such a beautiful and very versatile note, actually, because you can have... It's such a complex material. It's like sweet and powdery and violety, but also rooty and earthy and like carroty, like it can smell like turnips when it's like, it's just because it is the dried rhizomes of the iris flower. It's not the flower, it's the
rhizome or
rhizome. Rhizome. I don't know how to say it.
I was going to say the fruit, but I meant
it's
the root.
Not the fruit, it's the root. And it's dried for a long time, and obviously it is made into the orris butter.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is very expensive because that all takes a very long time to do. And yeah, you can have it in so many different ways. This is kind of on the fresher, more carroty, earthy side of iris.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get a nice kind of like slightly metallic crispness, I find, which is really lifting up that part of the fragrance. And then you get that sort of like carrot seedy, earthy, I've been in the ground feeling, which is, I think, just really lovely. And
it's beautiful.
Nice. It's really like...
Yeah, it's one of those that kind of you just want to smell it and just think.
And just kind of go, Because I find iris fragrances make me very sort of like introverted and internal.
Yeah.
Because like intellectualizing.
Yeah, there is.
Like I just like to think. Like,
there is an introspective feeling about iris. Iris is always aloof to me. Yeah. Because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, there's something ghostly about it, but also something very calming, and it's an introverted material actually.
Yeah, I think I quite like. I think this is great.
It's got a spice to it as well. Actually.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Bukhara as a city.
No,
so couldn't tell you. Does this remind me of or make me think of that? I've not been. I don't know.
No, but that's the thing I like about Gallivant.
It's the travel.
It's the travel, and we can't travel at the moment. Really, I mean, you can if you want to, but there's very limited places that you can go. But the idea is it's olfactory escapism, and that's what I like about what Gallivant does, is that they always give you an opportunity to visit someone that you haven't been, but you may not necessarily even ever go. No. But it's like bringing that city to you through your nose.
So I would like to look at more images of Bukhara and kind of go, oh, maybe I get it. Or like, because I think Nick's been posting things on social. Nick behind Gallivant.
Yes.
Nick Stewart has been posting things about like the Silk Road and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of intriguing.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big part of it, isn't it? That we should have probably mentioned at the beginning, is that obviously it's a key stop on the Silk Road.
Yeah.
So there is that element of trade of fabrics and spices and things like that.
This smells great.
Yeah, it's lovely.
This smells great.
Yeah, I think I'm going to treat myself to some, I think.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to.
I like this. I need to put some on.
It's lovely on skin.
Because I've not worn it yet.
It's one of those that kind of, it just, I don't know, when you wear it, it just makes you feel just really calm and almost a little bit artsy. Like you're like a little bit of a creative type, which I think is really lovely. I think it's a lovely thing. I think Gallivant does some really beautiful things, and I don't think there's a single bad fragrance in that line. No, there's not. I think it's, well, I don't want to say curated, directed. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's a niche brand, kind of, if you're not familiar with, it's one to look out for. I think they have flown a little bit under the radar for some people, I would think, but actually they are really great. And also, I love the size. I think for travel, that's so clever having a small size fragrance.
It makes total sense. Yeah. If you're going to talk about travel, you better be able to take it with you.
Yeah, I mean, on my flight to Bukhara, I'm going
to be taking it.
I want to be taking it.
This smells so good on skin.
Yeah, it's really
lovely. Oh my goodness.
I have some that I put on from earlier and it goes like really super, super like fresh in the dry down.
That's nice.
Very light.
That's nice.
I know. Nice one to end on, I think, because it is so lovely. Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, everybody involved with that also. We've just been congratulating everybody.
So we sniffed a hell of a lot.
Yes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9
fragrances. Obviously more than 9 fragrances have launched, but these are the ones that we thought were quite interesting, except for the Histoires de Parfums, which Nick obviously didn't like.
I mean, it's personal.
It is personal.
Can't like everything.
No, I wouldn't expect you to.
That would not be genuine.
Yes. It would not. So yeah, we'll be back now. We are going to record these regularly every Friday. That's the thing. That's the plan. Unless there's another global pandemic. If there's another one, then
or another lockdown, which might be imminent.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But we might have to find a way to do that. I don't know.
We'll figure something.
Yeah.
out.
I think we did kind of look at like let's Skype. No, I know. Just I can't think of how to work.
No,
it.
I mean like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just thought this sounds like too much, and like I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
No, we're just focusing on surviving. So
yeah.
As always, you can follow us at Fume Chat anywhere you can find at Fume Chat. Which will be
on the social medias.
Yes, we are on the social medias. We're not on TikTok because we are not 19.
I'm not cool enough.
I'm not cool enough.
And I can't dance.
No, well, no, neither can the people on TikTok. To be fair to them, TikTok is 90% shit dancing. But bless them, they try.
Good for them.
So we will be back soon. So, yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah. People listening to this like they are never going to record an episode again.
They're just literally thinking, it took them 6 months to get this one done.
Bloody bullshitters sitting there going, we're going to do season 3, yeah? Season 3, yeah, sure.
Season 3, 2 episodes in 2020. Oh, I'm so sorry.
We apologise.
We do.
Yes.
We are sorry. But we will be back.
Yes. Maybe. Okay, goodbye! Fume Chat is an all-fiction production produced by Thomas Dunkley and Nick Gilbert. All fragrances discussed during this episode were provided by the brands for consideration, and we were not sponsored to feature them. If we were, we would tell you, because we are nice. You can subscribe to Fume Chat on iTunes and Spotify if you like us, and you can follow us everywhere at Fume Chat and on fumechat.com.
It's time to start the show. It's Fume Chat, yeah, Fume Chat, here we go.